Have you ever thought that heart attacks strike suddenly, without any prior warning? While it might feel like they happen out of nowhere, the truth is far more concerning and, potentially, life-saving. In most cases, your body actually tries to alert you weeks or even months before a heart attack occurs. Every year, countless individuals collapse from heart attacks that seem to come without notice. But here's what most people don't realize. Their bodies had been desperately signaling that something was wrong long before the emergency happened. Subtle symptoms like unusual fatigue, mild chest tightness, or even a vague sense of uneasiness may have already been whispering that danger was on the way. What's even more alarming is that up to 80% of heart attacks could be prevented, if only these early signs were recognized and addressed in time. That's why, in today's video, we're going to uncover 8 crucial early warning signs that can begin to show up as early as a month before a heart attack. Some of these signs might seem so minor that you'd never guess they could be serious, but ignoring them could lead to tragic consequences. And the very first sign we'll talk about today is one that many people brush off as harmless, when in reality, it might be your heart's last effort to get your attention before a crisis hits. Before we dive in, I'd love to hear from you. Where are you watching from today? Drop a quick comment below and feel free to ask any questions along the way. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on life-saving health updates that could protect you or your loved ones. Sign number 8. Indigestion or heartburn that doesn't feel right. Most of us are familiar with that burning sensation in the chest, usually after a big meal or spicy food. We tend to chalk it up to heartburn or indigestion. But here's the surprising truth. What feels like a simple digestive issue could, in fact, be a warning signal from your heart. Yes, that discomfort in your chest might not be coming from your stomach at all. It could be your heart waving a red flag. Many people who suffer from heart attacks later report experiencing what they thought was heartburn in the weeks prior. The tricky part is, chest pain caused by heart problems and that caused by acid reflux can feel almost identical. Both can create burning, tightness, or pressure, often after eating. But one is caused by stomach acid, while the other is a sign that your heart isn't getting enough oxygen due to reduced blood flow. Even more confusing is the fact that your brain can sometimes misread signals from your body. The nerves in your chest and digestive tract are closely connected, so when your heart is in trouble, it can easily be mistaken for indigestion. This type of disguised symptom is more common than you'd think, especially in older adults, women, and those with diabetes, who often don't experience the classic crushing chest pain during a heart attack. So, how can you tell the difference? If your heartburn-like sensation comes with other symptoms, such as nausea, sweating, lightheadedness, or pain that radiates to your jaw, arms, or back, you should seek immediate medical attention. These are signs that your heart might be struggling, and time is of the essence. Sign number 7. Deep, lingering fatigue. When tiredness feels like a warning. We all feel worn out from time to time, whether it's from juggling responsibilities, not getting enough sleep, or simply having a busy week. But there's a type of tiredness that goes beyond the usual. It doesn't fade after a nap or a full night of rest. Instead, it hangs over you like a heavy cloud, draining your energy and making the simplest tasks feel overwhelming. This kind of persistent fatigue could be more than just a symptom of a hectic lifestyle. It could be your heart sending a silent distress call. Imagine feeling utterly depleted just from getting dressed in the morning, taking a short walk, or preparing a meal. This isn't your typical end-of-the-day fatigue. It's a deep, unshakable exhaustion that seems to have no clear cause and no quick fix. Some people compare it to the way you feel when you have the flu, minus the fever or congestion. It's that same kind of full-body tiredness that makes it hard to focus, hard to move, and hard to function. The connection to your heart is critical here. If your heart isn't pumping efficiently, your body isn't receiving the oxygen and nutrients it needs. Your muscles begin to weaken. Your brain becomes foggy. You might feel dizzy or lightheaded, even when you haven't done anything strenuous. To cope, your body shifts its focus to protecting vital organs like the brain and heart, redirecting blood flow from your arms and legs. That's why your limbs might feel especially tired, heavy, or weak. What's more alarming is that this type of fatigue can gradually worsen without you even realizing it. You might brush it off as just getting older or not sleeping well, but in reality, your body is warning you that your heart is under stress. Heart attack survivors often recall weeks of unrelenting fatigue leading up to their cardiac event. Many of them miss the signs or dismiss them as minor issues. Don't ignore your body's signals. When fatigue starts affecting your daily life, when rest no longer restores your energy, it's time to consider that your heart might be involved. Early detection can make all the difference. Sign number 6. Restless nights and trouble sleeping. A silent signal from your heart. You crawl into bed feeling completely exhausted, but your body refuses to relax. Minutes turn into hours as you lie there tossing and turning. Or maybe you do drift off, only to jolt awake in the middle of the night, breathless or with your heart pounding for no clear reason. You chalk it up to stress, an inconsistent routine, or age. But there might be something deeper going on, something tied to your heart's well-being. Interrupted sleep, trouble falling asleep, waking up gasping, or feeling unrefreshed despite spending hours in bed. These are all subtle clues that your heart may not be functioning properly. Poor sleep isn't just an inconvenience. It could be your body's way of alerting you to cardiovascular stress. When the heart is struggling, it affects how your body manages oxygen and blood pressure, two crucial factors for restful sleep. One concerning condition is nocturnal hypoxia, where your oxygen levels drop during sleep due to weakened circulation or narrowing of the arteries. This leads to tiny interruptions in your sleep cycle, known as micro-awakenings. You may not remember them, but your body certainly feels the impact the next day, waking up groggy, sluggish, and drained. There's also your autonomic nervous system to consider. It quietly manages things like your heartbeat and blood pressure behind the scenes. But when the heart is under strain, this system can go haywire at night, causing adrenaline spikes, sudden awakenings, vivid dreams, or racing thoughts. It's like your body is on high alert even while you're trying to rest. Some people recall a pattern of restless nights or vivid, unsettling dreams in the days or weeks leading up to a heart attack. It's not just coincidence. Your body is trying to speak to you, and nighttime may be when it speaks the loudest. If your sleep has been consistently poor, and there's no clear reason why, it's worth considering that your heart might be struggling. Sign number 5. Unexpected shortness of breath. When breathing feels harder than it should, picture this. You're walking up a few steps, doing light chores, or even just talking to someone, when suddenly you're short of breath. You pause, hoping it'll pass, and think to yourself, maybe I'm just out of shape. But what if your breathing troubles are actually a cry for help from your heart? Mild shortness of breath, especially when it comes on suddenly or during light activity, is often one of the earliest signs of a heart problem. The heart and lungs are partners in delivering oxygen throughout your body. So when the heart can't pump blood effectively, the lungs have to work harder to compensate. This imbalance can leave you feeling breathless during the simplest daily tasks. And it's not just during physical exertion. If you find yourself out of breath while sitting still or lying down, that's a serious red flag. This can happen due to fluid buildup in the lungs, a condition called pulmonary congestion, which is caused by a struggling heart. You might find that you need to prop yourself up with pillows just to sleep without gasping for air. What makes this symptom especially sneaky is how it creeps up over time. At first, you may notice it only during brisk walks or when climbing stairs, but gradually, it takes less and less activity to leave you winded. Many people dismiss it as aging or poor fitness, delaying help until things get worse. But when breathlessness starts disrupting your daily routine, it's not something to brush off. It's a sign that your body, particularly your heart, isn't coping well. Pay close attention to when and how it happens. If it's increasing in frequency or intensity, don't wait to get it checked out. Sign number 4. Jaw or neck pain. The hidden clue. Most people miss. When we think of heart trouble, chest pain usually comes to mind. But sometimes, your heart sends warnings in less obvious ways, like a dull ache in your jaw or tightness in your neck. These symptoms are often dismissed as dental problems, muscle strain, or even sleeping in an awkward position. But that discomfort could be your heart speaking up in disguise. Why would your jaw or neck hurt if your heart's the problem? The answer lies in the way the heart communicates pain. It doesn't have direct pain sensors like your skin or joints. Instead, it sends distress signals through nerves, especially the vagus nerve, which runs from your brain through your chest and branches into your neck, jaw, and even your ears. When blood flow to the heart is restricted, it triggers these nerves, and the brain sometimes misinterprets the pain as coming from another area. That's why people experiencing a heart attack might feel discomfort in the jaw, throat, or neck instead of, or in addition to, chest pain. This pain can come and go. One day, it might feel like a tightness in your jaw. The next, it might be a stiff neck that doesn't quite go away. It might disappear entirely for a while, only to return when you're stressed or physically active. Because it doesn't seem serious or consistent, it's easy to ignore. But here's the truth. If the discomfort feels unfamiliar, lingers longer than usual, or is paired with other symptoms like fatigue, dizziness, or shortness of breath, it could be a sign that your heart needs attention. These are not signs to shrug off. They're your body's way of asking you to pause, pay attention, and take action before it's too late. If you notice that your chest pain worsens when you're physically active, but seems to ease up the moment you rest, don't ignore it. This isn't just random discomfort. It could be a red flag for something serious, like angina. Angina is a clear message from your body that your heart isn't getting enough oxygen-rich blood, especially when it needs to work harder. Warning sign number 3. Unexpected dizziness or lightheadedness. Imagine you're simply going about your day when, out of nowhere, everything seems to spin. A strange wave of dizziness hits you, making you feel off balance. For a brief moment, you feel like you might collapse. You pause, maybe chalk it up to not drinking enough water or standing too fast. But then it happens again. That floating, faint feeling returns without warning. What if it's not just a fluke? What if it's your heart trying to sound the alarm? Feeling faint or lightheaded with no clear cause can actually be one of the earliest and most easily missed symptoms that your heart isn't functioning properly. When your heart fails to circulate enough oxygenated blood, especially to the brain, you can experience dizzy spells or even feel like you're going to pass out, even while resting. Some people describe it as a sudden wave of weakness, almost like their legs might give out. Others say it feels as if they're being gently lifted off the ground, an eerie, floaty sensation. Unlike dizziness caused by thirst or quick movements, heart-related dizziness doesn't follow predictable patterns. It might strike while you're sitting at your desk, standing in the kitchen, or even lying in bed. So how can you tell if it's something to worry about? If these dizzy spells keep happening, and you can't link them to anything obvious, and especially if they show up with other symptoms like shortness of breath, fatigue, or chest discomfort, you shouldn't just push through. Your body is raising a red flag, and ignoring it could cost you. The earlier you respond, the better your odds of avoiding a major heart event. Warning sign number 2. Pain in the upper back or across the shoulders. You roll your shoulders, trying to shake off that persistent soreness creeping across your upper back. Maybe it's just poor posture or a rough night's sleep, right? You move around a bit, hoping it'll fade, but the ache remains. Sometimes spreading across your shoulder blades, sometimes trickling down your arms. It's irritating, but not unbearable. Still, that nagging pain might not be as innocent as it seems. Aches in the upper back or shoulder region can actually be an overlooked signal that your heart is in trouble. Unlike the sharp, stabbing pain from a pulled muscle or strain, heart-related pain often feels like a deep, throbbing pressure. The reason? Pain from your heart doesn't always localize in your chest. The nerve signals can spread to nearby areas like your shoulders, neck, back, or arms. This type of referred pain is more common in certain groups. Women, older adults, and individuals with diabetes often experience non-chest-related symptoms during heart issues. If you also have high blood pressure, elevated cholesterol, or a history of smoking, your chances of experiencing this symptom increase significantly. If that discomfort in your upper back or shoulders appears suddenly or without a clear reason, especially if it lingers or intensifies, don't brush it off. Listen to your body. It's better to see a doctor and be safe than to ignore a warning that could save your life. Warning, sign number 1. Mild chest discomfort. It comes and goes. One of the most deceptive early signs of a heart attack is chest discomfort that isn't constant. It's mild. It fades. Then it comes back. Because it doesn't feel severe, many people dismiss it. But that pattern, discomfort that ebbs and flows, is a red flag. This condition is called angina, and it occurs when the blood flow to your heart is restricted, even briefly. When this happens, your heart isn't receiving enough oxygen to do its job efficiently. The result is a sensation that may not be sharp pain, but rather a strange tightness, pressure, or heaviness in the chest. Unlike a full-blown heart attack, angina is temporary. The discomfort can last a few minutes, then vanish. That's why it's so easy to ignore. But make no mistake, angina is a warning shot. It means your heart is under stress, and that a heart attack may be close behind. Initially, this discomfort may only occur during physical activity, walking upstairs, carrying something heavy, or even dealing with emotional stress. But as your arteries become more clogged, the symptom can show up even while resting. When that happens, time becomes critical. What makes it especially dangerous is that chest discomfort doesn't always feel like pain. Some people say it's like being squeezed by a tight band. Others describe a burning sensation, mistaken for heartburn. Some feel pressure or fullness, like bloating in the chest. And sometimes, the discomfort doesn't even stay in the chest. It might move to the jaw, arms, neck, shoulders, or back. If these feelings become more frequent, stick around longer, or show up with other symptoms like nausea, cold sweats, shortness of breath, or lightheadedness, don't wait. Once the pain becomes constant, You may already be in the middle of a heart attack. How to protect yourself? Prevention is in your hands. Heart attacks don't just appear out of nowhere. They build over time, quietly, through years of poor habits or overlooked risks. But here's the good news. Many heart attacks are preventable. The choices you make today can change your future. Start with your diet. What you eat matters more than you think. Eliminate highly processed foods, trans fats, and sugary snacks from your meals. Instead, fill your plate with whole foods. Think fresh vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains, olive oil, and heart-healthy fish like salmon. Each meal is an opportunity to care for your arteries. Exercise doesn't mean training for a marathon. Even a brisk 30-minute walk a day can do wonders for your heart health. Don't underestimate the damage of a sedentary lifestyle. Sitting too much weakens your heart. Movement is life. Chronic stress is another silent contributor to heart problems. When you're constantly tense, your blood pressure rises, your arteries constrict, and inflammation spreads. Find ways to decompress. Whether it's deep breathing, yoga, meditation, or simply saying no when you need to, your heart needs calm as much as it needs cardio. And of course, smoking and heavy drinking? They're among the worst things you can do to your heart. Every cigarette chips away at your artery walls. Alcohol, when consumed excessively, also adds long-term damage. If you smoke, commit to quitting. If you drink, do it in moderation. Don't forget to monitor the silent threats: high blood pressure, elevated cholesterol, and diabetes. These conditions often show no symptoms until serious damage is done. That's why regular checkups matter. Knowing your numbers could be what saves your life. Your heart's future isn't written in stone. It's shaped every single day by what you eat, how you move, how you cope, and the habits you build. Start small, stay consistent, and take control of your heart health today. Because the future version of you will thank you.